welcome to the special edition broadcast of Bauer News. I'm Ryan and this is Noah. Today is Veterans Day, and here at Bauer we are celebrating all of our veterans within our community. We want to welcome and thank all the veterans who served in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard.
Today we have some very special interviews with veterans from our Bauer community. First, we will go to Henry, who's interviewing his grandfathers.
What's your name and what branch of the military did you serve in?
Dennis Dooley, United States Army.
Bruce Burlage, United States Army.
How long did you serve?
2 years.
I served 3 years.
What was your job while serving?
I was in artillery.
I was a military policeman.
Why did you decide to join the military?
Oh, I got drafted.
Well, I was drafted. It's the only lottery I ever won. My number was 21, and two of my friends talked me into joining, so we went in a buddy system. There was 3 of us.
Just to interrupt your other grandfather for a second, my number was number 1. Okay?
Cool.
Big deal.
Did you travel a lot? If you did, how much and where?
Well, you traveled not so much stateside, but when you're over in Germany, we did some traveling. We'd go on maneuvers, so you'd drive these great big tanks with huge guns on them right through the middle of towns to go to the field. And then you'd stay out there for a couple of weeks.
That's pretty cool.
I didn't travel out of the United States.
No?
I went to 3 forts. I was at Fort Polk, Louisiana, Fort Gordon, Georgia, and Fort Knox, Kentucky.
That's cool. What did you do after you left the military? Was your job back home similar to something you did in your job in the military?
No, not at all. Completely different. I was a bricklayer's laborer when I got out. It was a lot different than the Army and harder.
I was offered a job as a policeman in Lombard by the chief of police, who I knew since I was a kid, and I refused. I said I had enough, and I became a glazer.
A glazier for donuts?
No.
Is there
High rises and curtain walls and glass buildings.
Is there anything you would like students to know about Veterans Day, the military, or serving in the military?
Well, I think over the years it's changed a lot because when I got out of the Army, there was no parades for veterans or anything like there is now. They just everybody just kind of forgot you. And that didn't bother me because that's just the way it was. But now there's a lot more. You look at the football games and they got a flag comes out as big as the field. They never had any of that when I was in. It's changed a lot.
I have to agree with Dennis, and I also have to say one other thing that I really appreciate what you children do at the school for us. I enjoy coming to it every year. Thank you.
Do you feel very proud to be a veteran?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I do also.
Thank you for serving.
Okay, Hank.
Wow, how interesting. Thanks for those interviews, Henry.
Next, we have Jacob interviewing his aunt.
What is your name and what branch of the military did you serve in?
My name is Melissa McCall, and I served in the United States Marine Corps.
How long did you serve in the military?
I was in the military for 8.5 years.
What was your job while serving?
My job was an aviation ordnance systems technician.
Why did you decide to join the military?
So I joined the military because I wanted to serve my country in the best way that I knew possible. And I also in hopes that my nephews, you and your brother, wouldn't have to fight in the future for their freedom.
How did you feel being away from family and friends while you were in the military? Did you feel a longing to go home while you were away?
I missed my family a lot at times while I was gone, but I also truly enjoyed living other places and the experiences and learning from other cultures while I was away.
What did you enjoy most about the military?
What I enjoy most about the military was the camaraderie, the loyalty and friendships that are made between military members and their families. It's a very special bond, and just knowing that there is always someone there who's going to have your back.
Did you travel a lot while you were in the military? If you did, how much and where?
I traveled quite a bit while I was in the military. Most of my travels were to other states, but I did also travel to the Middle East and to Asia.
What did you do after you left the military? Was your job back home similar to something you did in your job in the military?
When I got out of the military, I decided to go to school to become a licensed veterinary technician. So basically a nurse for animals. So it doesn't really have anything to do with what I did in the military, because my aviation ordnance job is pretty specific to military service.
Is there anything you would like students to know about the military or serving in the military?
I would like students to know that serving in the military is something to be very proud of. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication, and there's a lot of sacrifice involved in serving in the military, but it's also so very rewarding. It's full of opportunity, and I'm very proud to have served in the military.
Do you feel very proud to be a veteran?
I am, yes.
Thank you so much for interviewing today, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thanks for your reporting, Jacob. These are great.
They sure are! Now we are excited to bring you Reese and Brody, who are interviewing their mom, Barra's very own Mrs. Logan!
What is your name and what branch of the military did you serve in?
My name is Sarah Logan, and I served in the Army.
How long did you serve in the Army?
I served in the Army for 4 years.
What was your job while serving?
My job was an 88 Mike. I was a truck driver.
Why did you decide to join the military?
I joined the military because I was not ready for college yet, and the military sounded like a great adventure, and they were offering the GI Bill and the Illinois Veterans Grant, which would pay for my college.
How did you feel being away from family and friends? Did you feel a longing to go home while you were away?
I did miss home. Definitely around the holidays is when I miss home the most, but there was so much going on, and there were so many interesting and amazing people around me, so a lot of the friendships that I made kept me company while I was away. And like I said, the holidays were always the hardest time to be away from home.
Did you travel a lot? If you did, how much and where did you go?
We traveled a ton because we were truck drivers. So I was stationed at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. That was my permanent base. So we would drive trucks. They called them missions, whatever our assignment was. We would travel all the way to Virginia. We would travel to California. We'd go to Colorado. We would take missions to Texas, Arkansas. We would travel all over the United States. And it was a lot of fun. And we would travel to different Army bases. Sometimes we would stay at hotels if there weren't Army bases along the way. So I traveled a ton and saw a lot of the United States.
What did you enjoy most about the military?
There was so much. I enjoyed that they trained us to shoot, so we got to shoot things. They trained us in combat. I loved all the different combat tactics and stuff that they trained us in. We got to go out in the field a lot. And the friendships that we made. There were so many just amazing and diverse and interesting people in the military. I really enjoyed the military. A lot of obviously there's downsides to every place that you're at, but the good stuff really outweighed the bad. I enjoyed a lot about the military.
What did you do after you left the military? And was your job back at home similar to something that you did in the military?
When I left the military, I was about 22 years old, and I went to college, and I started went into teaching. So my job was not similar to being a truck driver.
So did you want to stay in the military longer, or was 4 years enough?
I think 4 years was enough. I had thought about staying in and traveling a little bit more, but I think I was ready to get out and go to college by the time I was done with my 4 years. So I went to college and started my career in teaching.
Is there anything you would like students to know about Veterans Day, the military, or serving in the military?
I was very happy that I went to the military and served in the military and saw that side of life. And I'm very proud to be able to go into situations now and hang out with veterans and have that camaraderie still with veterans and be able to have that in common with other veterans. It's a part of my life that I really enjoy. It's something I'm very proud of.
Are you proud to be a veteran?
I am very proud to be a veteran.
What was your favorite part of serving in the military?
Just the friendships and the camaraderie. You don't see that in civilian life. It's a closeness that you get from living and working with people. It's a very different lifestyle.
So cool. A veteran right in our own school. I'm so glad to know we have all these interesting people around us who served in our country and community.
Yes, it's important to take some time to acknowledge how lucky we are and how grateful we should be to have these brave individuals who protected our country and freedoms.
Remember, if you see a veteran, don't forget to thank them with the simple, thank you for your service, not only today, but any day.
This concludes our special edition Veterans Day broadcast of the Bauer News.
Thanks for tuning in.
And thanks again to all the veterans out there.
Bauer appreciates you.